Good morning, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Samson Woodcrafting. So last night I got these boards all glued up together to form the surface of the tabletop that I'm making, and I clamped them overnight just to be absolutely sure that everything went well. But I'm going to go ahead and take the clamps off now. Now, I did use a biscuit joiner and biscuits to help align these boards, which I think was a wise idea, especially considering the temperature in Texas recently. It's been wild, anywhere from like 80 to right now, I think it's 52. I mean, it's nuts. Let's get these clamps off. So what I'm going to be doing today is basically getting any excess glue that I didn't get off last night off, and then go ahead and sand the tabletop, and then I'll flip it over, get rid of all the excess glue on the bottom and sand that as well, and then I'm going to be cutting this into form. Alright guys, so the top of the tabletop was much easier because basically when I was gluing it up and clamping it, I was steadily wiping the top, and obviously I couldn't reach the bottom very well. So there's quite a bit of glue buildup on the bottom here. The way to get rid of that, you don't want to sand it because you're going to spend all day sanding and you're going to go through a bunch of sanding pads, waste money. So you can either get a scraper, which I haven't got yet, or you can just get a chisel and just be very careful not to dig into the wood. And you can just push against, and these little guys will come right off. And it'll make it a lot easier on you when you're trying to sand and make this table level and flat. Alright guys, so I've just finished getting all the excess glue off. Obviously you can see there's still some spots, but if you go too deep with the chisel, you'll start to cut into the tabletop itself, and nobody likes that. So I've gotten all the bits off that I really wanted to, and today I will be using my newest addition to the shop to get this all flat, sandy, and smoothie. So basically, this is the Festool RO150. What that means is RO stands for Rotex, or random orbit, and then 150 is the designation of the size in millimeters. So 150 millimeters is roughly 6 inches. And let me just show you real quick. This is the sander that I was using since I started this business. This is actually the second one. The first one kind of crapped out after about 1.5 years, and same here. Don't get me wrong, for 60 bucks, this was a fantastic sander. It lasted me a long time, and it took me through a lot of work. However, throughout my woodworking career, I've often seen Festool tools and wondered, what in the world makes them worth so much money? Well, I'm here to tell you that you will see the difference. Just not only in the quality of the work that you've performed with the tool, but also the design of the tool. For instance, I went ahead and kind of went crazy and got the Rotex along with the shop vac, or the CT. It's basically, there's zero dust. When you're sanding, I also used it with my biscuit joiner, and there was absolutely zero dust. It's wonderful. I can be out in the shop with the door closed, no mask, and not worry about what I'm breathing in. It's fantastic. Another great feature about the Rotex versus other random orbital sanders is you can actually, there's a switch right here, and if you were to engage it now, it's random orbit, but when you push down, it engages it to be gear driven. And what that means is instead of this doing random circles, it will be absolutely 100% gear driven, and you can basically use this as a belt sander. As some of you may know, belt sanders, if you get too crazy with it or you leave it in a spot too long, you'll create some grooves. You have to be very careful when using a belt sander as to avoid those things. Whereas this, it has a circular base, which is a lot better. It also has a 6-inch wide diameter, 6-inch diameter. So it covers more area evenly. These are very well balanced tools. I can't say enough about this thing. I'm so glad that I made this purchase, and I'm so glad that it's part of my shop now. Alright guys, so I have just finished smoothing this table down after a big glue up, and I've got to tell you, I'm highly impressed. With my old Ryobi, orbital sander, I don't even know how long this would have taken me. Hours. Probably would have had to break out the belt sander and take care of the bits between the glue and the wood. But this, I'm so impressed. And not to mention, I only used 2 sanding discs, and this one's still got a little life in it. I'm really, really impressed. This is so smooth. I love the fact that it's 6-inch diameter and not, a belt is just 3 inches of just a groove, and you're hoping for the best. But with this, everything is great. I'm really, really impressed. Highly, highly recommend. Not to mention, I'll show you a video here in the future, but my daughter was able to come out here usually whenever I'm sanding. Not only is the door open, which is kind of annoying, it's either hot or cold in Texas, you can't have no middle. But my daughter was able to come out here and help me, and I'm not worried about her breathing in any dust or anything like that. I wouldn't even call it a complaint, but it is noisy. It's very noisy, especially combined with the dust collection. But you assume that's going to happen. Even my shop vac is very noisy, and I never connected it to my sander because it was just too much of a hassle. This is just incredible. It rotates freely. It's stuck on there until you release it. I am so happy with this purchase. Again, highly, highly recommend the Festool Rotex series.